Whether it's the setting of a new adventure film or the home of an exotic culture, the jungle has long held a place of fascination in the minds of many due to its mystery and the secret cloaked within. Its vast expanse and dangerous undergrowth leave many to wonder what exactly lies at the heart of that tangle of vines. Occasionally, discoveries are made that answer some of these questions, while others only leave us with more uncertain puzzles. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at jungle discoveries and what dwells within the heart of the rainforests. UFO seen above jungle. The mysteries of the Amazon rainforest jumped out at one unsuspecting viewer as he surfed through satellite images on Google Maps and noticed something rather odd amongst the trees. In an uninhabited area of the Brazilian state Rondônia, where there should have only been miles and miles of jungle, a mysterious line of lights stuck out from the treetops. These glowing orbs were arranged in a straight line and were only visible with the satellite pictures taken above. Whatever it may be, one thing is certain. It's incredibly large and stands out in sharp relief when compared to the towering jungle trees surrounding it. For it to have appeared on satellite images, meaning it also has to be large enough to be visible from space, ruling out any technological glitches or lights from small tribal dwellings. As there's no modern civilization nearby that could be responsible for something so enormous and glowing, many alien fanatics claim that this is evidence of a hidden spaceship or UFO. This isn't the first instance of an unexplainable, potentially alien occurrence in the Brazilian rainforest. UFO sightings are relatively frequent, and residents of outlying cities and villages often report seeing odd orbs or lights floating above the trees. Early in 2020, Brazilian citizens witnessed what appeared to be a spaceship crashing into the rainforest. This supported their claims with images that were found on Google Maps. However, these images disappeared from the server soon after. This prompted conspiracy theorists to speculate that a government cover-up was involved. Potentially the most famous, as well as ancient phenomenon indicating a possible alien presence in the area, is an array of earthen rings, which have recently been discovered to predate the rainforest itself. Although these instances have been thoroughly investigated, there hasn't been much of a satisfactory explanation. This makes these newly sighted orbs all the more mysterious. These frequent unexplainable UFO sightings, coupled with the new discovery of enormous glowing orbs deep within the Brazilian rainforest, lead some to wonder whether this truly is a sign of alien life, or a top-secret government project choosing to operate within the privacy of the jungle. What is certain, however, is that regardless of whether the cause is extraterrestrial or not, there's undoubtedly something mysterious lurking within these uncharted depths. The baffling man-made rainforest on Ascension Island. As Earth's population explodes and resources dwindle, scientists look for solutions to the problem of how to support our growing numbers. The answer might lie within a thriving jungle on an island which only 150 years ago was a barren, volcanic wasteland. Ascension Island in the Atlantic Ocean was a British military outpost. It was also a stop on Charles Darwin's famous voyage to the Galapagos. At that time, the island was an uninhabitable landscape and was rumoured to only have a single tree. Darwin himself described it as hideous and completely destitute of trees. However, British botanist Sir Joseph Hooker saw the potential for a valuable research experiment and began importing thousands of trees to the remote destination in what would blossom into the planet's first artificial ecosystem. Beginning in 1843, Hooker oversaw the introduction of a variety of botanical scraps to the barren wasteland. This included species of trees and birds from countries all over the world. Argentinian fruit trees were planted next to Australian ferns, and by 1970, there were over 5,000 trees that had begun to flourish and organise themselves into a thriving ecosystem. This later was termed Green Mountain, after the lush foliage that was beginning to take over. By 1890, the importation had stopped because the fittest plants had established themselves and begun to thrive totally unaided from human intervention. the soil and hydrology composition of the island also altered over time. The British military troops that were stationed there reported more hospitable conditions due to the new explosion of foliage. Scientists and researchers were quick to recognise the future implications of Green Mountain. The beautiful, thriving, independent ecosystem that erupted relatively quickly should have taken a millennium to evolve. Rainforest ecosystems are highly complex and interactive, where every species fills a vital, niche role, and were previously thought to only arise after thousands of years of species evolution. The fact that Green Mountain was able to produce such an organised landscape so quickly, and with such a variety of species, caused researchers to question their previous theories concerning rainforest evolution. The phenomenon was so unusual and unexpected that in the late 1990s, scientists borrowed a science fiction term to describe what was happening on the island. Terraforming became known as the process of artificially creating a viable ecosystem, and potentially offers many answers for the future of our life on Earth. Studying Ascension Island can help provide insight on how to green Earth to feed more people through terraforming, instead of altering already viable ecosystems and risking the extinction of vital indigenous species. Researchers have even applied these principles beyond our own planet. They investigated how Mars or the Moon could be terraformed quickly by fitting the right species with the terrain. Similar to Green Mountain, being surrounded by a barren volcanic landscape not entirely unlike those of potential extraterrestrial colony sites. However, we don't have all the answers yet, as there are still numerous debates about whether the artificial rainforest was simply a result of chance, and whether it's ethical to attempt to experiment elsewhere and potentially risk the destruction of native species. As scientists study the lush beauty of Ascension Island, perhaps some of these questions can be answered as humanity attempts to bring terraforming into the future. Encounters with the Maracoxie. Jungles and rainforests have long been home to many unique civilizations and tribes, all with varying degrees of isolation. Some coexist quite peacefully with their modern neighbours. Others remain cloaked in the secrecy that the deep jungle provides, and are primarily known through legends that are passed down through those who have encountered them. Perhaps one of the most mythical civilizations of this kind lies in the heart of the Amazon rainforest. Local tribes have a long oral history of huge, hairy man-beasts that dwell within the jungle, but there have been little to no documented encounters with these people. Termed the Maracoxie, they exist mostly in stories centering around the danger and secrecy of the deep rainforest. They'd perhaps be better written off as a legend entirely if it weren't for the documentation of explorer Colonel Percy Fawcett. Fawcett wandered the Amazon for years searching for the lost city of Z. He became well acquainted with many of the local tribes. He clinically noted all of his adventures and documented the fantastical stories the natives told him about a group of hairy man-beasts living in the depths of the jungle. However, it appears he only ever actually encountered the Maracoxie once. This was when his group stumbled into some on their travels. He described the encounter as, "It seemed they were very large hairy men with exponentially long arms and with foreheads sloping back from pronounced eye ridges, men of a very primitive kind that were unclothed." That night, as his men tried to sleep, they heard the haunting sounds of braying horns echoing through the trees. He reported that the sound was as eerie as the opening notes of some fantastic opera. When day broke, however, the forest betrayed no sign of the so-called savages until they stumbled upon a village full of men and women they had met previously. Fawcett described the village as full of primitive shelters, where squatted some of the most villainous savages he had ever seen, and remarked upon their use of basic tools and weapons and their language composed of grunts and whistles. Mysteriously, Fawcett didn't investigate this tribe he had found, and moved on with his expeditions, making no more mention of the Maracoxie in his account, which became the only documented encounter with these people. Some say Fawcett's documentation was exaggerated and sensationalized out of rudeness for the, quote, savages of the jungle. Others point out that Fawcett remained decidedly unbiased and gave an incredibly accurate description of his dealings with other tribes. Whether the group that he encountered was actually the Maracoxie or not, the tribe lives on in local myths and legends as the South American version of Bigfoot. Nobody's ever been able to locate them again to confirm Fawcett's account. With the vastness of the rainforest on their side, we may never be able to confirm whether the Maracoxie truly exist or not. Fawcett's expedition notes remain one of the only documented instances of an encounter. The depths of the jungle cloaks many mysteries, and although we might occasionally uncover hints of what lies deep inside, we'll likely never truly discover the truth of everything that lurks under the entangled foliage. Signs of alien life, UFOs, mythical tribes, and even the key to the future of our planet are all out there, waiting to be found. It's now only a matter of time of who is brave enough to venture into those mysterious places to uncover the secrets hidden within. So what do you make of these jungle discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community whilst working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.